Come on and shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. Join award-winning host Dale Davidson as he interviews the most remarkable people you'll find in the entertainment capital of the world. You'll meet entertainers, sports figures, newsmakers, community and business leaders, and people just like you with stories that'll touch your heart. Now, here's Dale Davidson.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. Every episode, and we're now on number 331 episodes in just over 10 years of producing this program. It's been a real blessing. The Lord has brought us fascinating guests. Well, he did it again. Marneen Fields is with us. Marneen is an actress. She's a stunt woman, former stunt woman. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. She's an author. She leads a group on Facebook. Whew, I'm exhausted just talking about her. Marneen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you bet. You have a really interesting and fascinating life story, and I don't want to take up any more of your time by words of introduction. Let's get right to the Marneen Fields of her childhood. Tell me where you grew up and what your family was like and what your life was like and all that.
Okay, well, I grew up in Minot, North Dakota, and also Montana. We moved to California when I was in second grade. Okay. And I was born with emphysema and enlarged heart, and I wasn't expected to live to be 5 years old. And my childhood, I remember I wasn't able to go outside and play with all of the other children. And I was in kindergarten and stuff. I was inside. And I remember just going every week for chest x-rays and how cold they were. And I was told that and I remember strangling and coughing. And if I coughed too hard, my heart was going to explode out of my little body.
That's what they said.
This is what they told me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and so I was
Wow.
I was very ill,
Yeah.
and I was on all kinds of cortisone, and ended up in second grade. Things really turned for me, and I grew into my heart. We moved to California where it was warmer and everything.
Yeah.
And my life started to take off, and I got introduced to sports, and I was really advanced in math because I stayed inside and didn't play with other children. And so I was kind of a child prodigy in math, and they sent me to the high school with the big kids to do algebra. And so here I was, real little, and I'd go across the monkey bars, and I'd want to swing on those, And instead, I'd make my way to this big kids class and too little for even the table, and I'm doing algebra because they thought that this would, and so athletics took off, and I was a little all-star, and I also was a child musician playing 3 instruments in elementary school.
Really? What were they?
The string bass.
Wow.
And the clarinet.
That was big for a little girl.
Yes. The day I got to school for the instruments, all the instruments had been taken, and so I had to take the string bass, and so people in my neighborhood, they still remember me. I had a little red wagon. I rolled that bass back and forth to school.
That's amazing. I can picture this little girl with that big case.
And it would fall off the wagon. I'd pick it up. And, practicing the bass is with the bow in the bedroom and stuff. And my dad and I never complained. And then I also played keyboards and clarinet.
Oh, that's wonderful. You became quite an accomplished gymnast, I understand.
Yeah, so then
so the monkey bars paid off.
Well, first it was softball, and I was an all-star in tracks, and then one day I just started doing handstands and things, and before you know it, I'm doing back bends down the stairs and walkovers on the table.
Wow.
And all the little kids now are lining the block, and I'm walking on my hands around the block, and they're following me, and they're counting, and it was like a thing each week, to see how far. And I liked.
How far is Marneen going to get?
How far will I get? And it came out of a lot of my life is that, and being on my hands and looking up at them and laughing and counting, and it was work for me being on my hands.
Sure.
But it was, so then in 1973, I became one of 3 women in the United States to receive an athletic scholarship in gymnastics. They didn't give athletic scholarships in gymnastics to women back then.
Title IX, yeah.
And I got it because I could do Olga Corbett type of gymnastics, and that was to Utah State, and I became 3rd over there in the state of Utah, and 5th on balance beam, 3rd on floor exercise. And everything was perfect in my life, going to college, and I was a scholar student all through school.
Where were you going to college?
Utah State.
Utah State, okay. And then tell us how gymnastics segued into a career as a stunt woman. Was that a natural kind of thing?
Well, no. In fact, the year that was then, I had 3 years of formal education there at Utah State, and in 1976 I fell off the balance beam, and my ankle, which had been hurt in high school, the toes were at the ankle part. So back then they used calves tendons, and they did ankle reconstruction surgeries. Well, my gymnastics was over, and I was devastated, and I had met a boy in college I'd fallen madly in love with that I was supposed to marry, and I assumed that my life was over, that I would never do gymnastics again, and so I moved back to California with my parents. And my older brother Bobby, he was part of the catalyst for all my competitive gymnastics and sports, because he had a tryout with the Rams, and he was very aggressive and a whole foot taller than me, and very motivational, and always make me punch my goals as a little 10-year-old, punching my goals. Remember those sticky ones?
Oh yeah,
and
that's great.
He was amazing. My older brother died 2 years ago, and he was won inspirational awards galore, and he was a top sports broadcaster that won a Mark Twain's Bust of Achievement Award, Bobby Fields, and the tryout with the Rams, and he won the Mark Twain Bust Achievement Award 4 times.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so he was so motivational, and he met a stuntman, and I went down, they took me down to Paul Stater's stunt school, who double Cary Grant. And he said, I'm not going to do these high falls off ladders and all of this. My sister can do it though. And so it just so happens that this great Paul Stater, he saw the champion gymnast in me, and he took me under his wing, and he got me my first 20 jobs, and they were really, he really believed in me. I mean, if I believed in myself as much as Paul Stater believed in me, I would have never had he thought I could do anything.
What a great mentor.
Yeah, he was amazing, and he put he was amazing, and you'll see when you see the tape, the things that
we're going to put a couple minute long sort of compilation of some amazing, I've seen it, some amazing falls and amazing stunts. So you were in a lot of movies and television shows, and tell us a little bit about that life.
First I want to mention they no longer do calves tendons in the ankles. They now use ropes. My foot has outlived the calves tendon.
The
use of the calves tendon, and the calves tendon made my foot bionic. So everything you're seeing, I was a pioneering stunt woman, and we didn't have airbags when I first got started. I mean, they were being built. Maybe some people used them, but I didn't do cars and stuff. It was all the high falls and the gymnastics and things. And I was studying acting in college, and I was very, very serious about that. And in 1979, my career in life changed again because I met Victor French of Highway to Heaven and Little House on the Prairie with Michael Landon. And he took me under his wing as an actress. He saw me on Airport 79 and he said, you know, you have a Marilyn Monroe, the real quality, not what she, you know, you have this quality. And so I started studying with him for 3 years and other celebrity acting coaches. And my first job that Paul Stater got me was an acting role with the stunt.
Oh, really?
So I started being this young little Angelina Jolie, but smaller roles, you know, maybe one line of dialogue, maybe a scream, you know, and I built up doing small theater and very serious. I just wanted to be the world's most famous actress at that point, you know. And
that was your goal.
I had doubled close to 100 of the. I like to say it this way. I stepped into the shoes of 100 of the most famous and most beautiful women in the world and performed their death-defying feats for them. But I also stepped into my own shoes, and 50 of my 150 credits are me stunt doubling myself. And so you'd see my resume back then, you know, a young 20-year-old, and it's stunt doubles myself. Stunt doubles Priscilla Presley, then stunt doubles myself. And so, you know, I was real proud of that. And I was and I'm still serious about being an actress. I've just released a book on the craft of acting, the elusive craft of acting, an actor's preparation process that many people consider me to, you know, be very well versed in Stanislavski and Chekhov methods of acting, because that's what I learned through Victor French and Jeff Corey and these real famous. See, Victor French was an actor's actor and a director's director. He was very, very theater trained.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so I got that theater training, and then in 1985, and this is a good place maybe to break with this, is I became one of the first women, if not the first woman, to come from this pure stunt arena to land a large co-star role in a film.
Really?
And but my big break was in 1977 through Paul Stater again. A guy named Buddy Van Horn called because Paul gave him my name. Said, "Can you jump off a moving train?" And I was like, well, and it was with Clint Eastwood on the Gauntlet. And I'm the girl. Clint Eastwood punches off the moving train on the Gauntlet, and my stunt career skyrocketed
that was a great
overnight.
Movie. I remember that movie.
Just overnight, I was one of the top, most famous stunt women in the world back then.
Yes.
And I was going to return to college for that one other year, which I eventually did do, but I didn't. I
All of a sudden
stayed.
you were working.
Yeah, my phone rang off the hook for 15 years until you hear the tragedy then that struck from there.
Yeah. Well, that's an amazing, amazing life story, and I know we're going to talk about. Well, let's launch right into that now, and this is the story you're going to tell about your healing. Is that really?
Yes. Well, I was, you know, top stunt girl in the world and aspiring actress. I was all confident. There wasn't this vulnerability that you see in me now after being beat down and crushed. I've got pleasure out of walking through the airport with my duffel bag. You know, I was all strong. There was no fear. There was, you know, and I was driving home one day, and an uninsured motorist in a truck hit me at full speed in the rain on my driver door. I saw him coming, and my words were, "Oh my God, he's going to hit me." I turned my back to him like I had learned to do in the high falls, and there was a presence in the car that was so incredibly powerful. I can't describe it. I just know it helped not kill me that day. And the paramedics, they were cutting me out of the seatbelt, and I was delirious, in and out of consciousness. And they said, you know, we can't believe that you lived. They were slapping my face going, can't believe you're alive. You don't live through that kind of a broadside hit.
Yes.
But I always will believe it was me calling out to God at that moment that is why I lived through that. But it gets worse. It gets much worse. It gets very, very dark now.
Yeah.
My life
Yeah.
gets very dark.
But before we get to that darkness part, let's take a real brief break. We'll be back with Marneen Fields right after these brief messages.
Dorothy died there with all the roses on the ground.
No! Don't eat it! It's poison! Don't eat it! Stop laughing! No! Please, not your...
No fear.
Everybody, quiet. Let's go to lunch 1 hour.
Exchange students in athletics.
The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have a fascinating guest. Boy, I hope you watched the first segment. Marneen Fields is telling us about her life, which is a really interesting life. You mentioned that we were going to get a little dark. Tell us what you mean by that.
Okay, well, I had this horrible car accident.
Yes.
And it took, a year to get on my feet, and all of this pain, and I thought I was okay.
Yeah.
And I got back on my feet, and got back into my career and everything, and
You're
I got
acting again.
yeah, I'm acting, but now the acting is different. I can't remember my lines because I've had acute concussions in every area of the brain. The ribs have been completely fractured and torn. All the nerve, muscle, and tissue has been ripped from the left side of the body because my arms were on the steering wheel when I got hit. And
Wow.
I'm really, just everything is very, very difficult now. And when you see pictures of me before and after, you see this young, bubbly, happy face, and then afterwards, I'm like, my eyes are, I'm just out of it. And so I'm behind the stage door and everything, ready to go on, and I went on the vitamin choline and inositol to get my memory back, and it did help. But I started doing, stunt work again, and
Oh, you did?
by now I'm
Wow.
I'm almost ready. I've just been coined Hollywood's original fall girl, and I've been awarded a fall girl license plate. And everywhere I'm going on my Ford Escort, there's the fall girl, and it was really exciting. The Stuntman's Association and Bill Ketching, who was also instrumental in my career with Paul Stater, they awarded me this, and I have the license plate still, and it's a big focus of the book and everything. And so, if I should pause, and it seems like I'm not remembering what I have to say, it's a miracle I'm even here. It's a miracle I've even made it, because I still go blank in midstream sometimes, and I get called to do a Murder, She Wrote, to play a tennis pro, doubling Linda Hamilton, who used the Terminator. And so all I got to do is just reach back, and I'm gonna land on my bottom. I mean, it's a stunt. It's still hard because I fall on the tennis court with nothing under me. That's another thing. When I broke in, we went into boxes, sand, concrete. You learn when you leave gymnastics, you're not on the mats anymore when you're doing stunts. You're hitting the ground, and you're hitting them. All I had in the gauntlet was a little tiny football boy's girdle, and it's not enough. And
you're going to get hurt a lot.
Yeah, and you get banged up. You get hurt, and I hurt my heel on that real bad. That's one of the most dangerous stunts a young girl performed back then in 1977, going off backwards with a half twist. If you remember, I was this way to the door, and I had to go. And it's going 15 miles an hour, and I had to get, and there's a whole thing coming out about what that, we've talked about what that stunt is. But so anyway, I fell onto the tennis court, and I felt a horrible, just an unbelievable pain in my pelvic area. And so I didn't say a word to anyone. Not one person knows that on many of these things, I had to fake it and pretend I wasn't hurt.
Just must have been awful, the pain. And I've heard that before about stunt people never want to admit that they got hurt, because they often won't get hired again, right? I mean, it's a really tough racket that way.
That's right, and also all pro athletes, because we are athletes. The stunt people, they are champion. I was a champion gymnast, and it is rough. So I got into the bathtub that night, and I was still kind of hurting, and I looked down, and my stomach is like the size of a watermelon now, and I'm like, oh no, something is really, really wrong. So then I started to take a step, and I collapsed, and I got rushed to the hospital. And what do they find? They find that the tissue now from that car accident in the pelvic area has tried to regrow, and it's grown into this massive tumor, and it has infected everything internally.
No.
It has infected it's inches from attaching to the bladder, first of all. So if you have a tumor attached to the bladder, you're dead like that.
Really?
So now here comes what we're going to start to talk about. Well, let's say the accident was the first miracle. I lived through a broadside hit by a pickup truck going 50 miles an hour to run a red light in the rain. And so there's miracle number one. How do I survive? How does just strong little stunt girl and gymnast,
Yeah.
And so then now they find that it's inches from attaching to the bladder, so they take me to Motion Picture Hospital, and I'm in surgery for like, I don't know, 8 hours or something, and my appendix has ruptured on the operating table.
Oh, no.
And the bladder it's been inches from taking the bladder, and they've had to remove a bunch of like fibroid and chocolate cysts on top of this big massive one. And they almost killed me. The damage was called a sphincter muscle for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And so now starts the real horror, the real horror. And for the next 12 years, I end up nearly bleeding to death, living in heights of excruciating pain. And I'm talking, where you're just screaming in the doorway. The pain is, they go into my stomach, the same spot, 5 times, and they rip me open, and they take out a total of 19 tumors and cysts over 12 years.
Oh,
I
Lord.
lose part of the intestine,
Oh,
the
no.
bowel, the appendix, these female, just everything. And I'm
Yeah.
fighting for my life. So, of course, I'm not going to become successful. I've lost everything. I've almost lost my life on each of these surgeries. I'm completely alone. I'm bleeding to death. There's no God. Now, keep in mind, there's not yet any God in my life. I'm unbaptized. I've never been in a church. We went to church one time. It was an Oriental church. One time as a child. And here I am, all this
Nothing to
darkness,
turn to,
all
yeah.
of this, and I had been very, very heavily introduced to psychic phenomena
really?
and things, and stunts, violence and stunts and all of that. And now all of this, all I remember, and I remember it till today, is how humiliating it was to keep looking down at my stomach and just seeing staples across my stomach for 12 years and keep going back in. Well, finally in 1999, I'm now bleeding to death. Everything is sloughing off, and they can't stop the bleeding. So now I'm the woman at the well who bled for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm now her, and they can't, no matter what. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting on my bed and I'm learning 150 songs. Because all I ever wanted to do was sing as a little girl.
Is that right?
That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I ever wanted to be in my whole life as a little girl, was this famous singer. And I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't think I could do it. And I was always singing every song you ever heard. It was always my favorite song. And so the music healed me.
Really?
But my brothers made fun of me because, she's sitting on her bed, singing to herself. Well, I can't walk across the floor. I can't work. I can't wear high heels. I can't sit on a hard surface. And prior to these last surgeries, I did an acting role on Scarecrow Mrs. King, and I had to pretend I could hold a heavy machine gun and run down a field with it, but I had no ribs, so I had to fall. And it was like my recovery from that Scarecrow Mrs. King, it took me months to just recover from one little fall to my arm and carrying that heavy machine gun, because all the ribs were the ribs are gone. There's still no ribs there, and if I lift something, I have to wrap myself in a back brace and a neck brace. And through all of this, I crushed the tailbone, and so the tailbone is real fragile, just really bad.
Yeah.
So the UCLA doctors would not do. They determined I need a final surgery now to remove everything, the complete uterus, the ovaries, everything, to stop the bleeding, or I'm going to bleed to death.
Right.
And so they won't do it. The UCLA doctors, they take me in and they evaluate, and I find a doctor that'll do it in Tarzana named Dr. Marvin Schwartz, and just so happens his son was a stuntman, might still be a stuntman. Marvin retired years ago, so he does the final surgery, or what we think is the final surgery, and this is in 1999. Now I want to mention my mom, during this time, she had also had a surgery, and they had to pump her heart and bring her back to life.
Right.
And my mom had a breakdown, and she ran away. And I found my mom as a homeless person 6 months after she had ran away. She tried to use her driver's license. And so all these years, you know, my mom, I'm having these surgeries now. My mom has ran away. And I don't think I'll ever get on my feet ever again to do anything. And so I come home from the last surgery in a taxi. I started saying ambulance. In a taxi with the staples in my stomach, because I had spent like 7 years with no friends. I didn't answer the telephone. I was too humiliated. I was too embarrassed.
You were just really depressed.
I couldn't handle the slightest male energy.
Yeah.
Not the slightest male energy. I just couldn't handle anything. And so now I've been on morphine drip because they've done this surgery that UCLA won't do. And I've been in the hospital bed. The taxi drops me off. I get in the apartment, and I'm not okay. I'm like, I'm gonna die any minute. And I take a step, and all I remember is falling face first onto my chest. Just, I'm down. That's my last breath. I'm down for the count, and I'm on the floor. And we have a mutual. You're
living alone at this point.
Yeah, I'm always alone, always alone, and which is one of the reasons that I decided to marry 3.5 years ago, is because I had spent so much time alone, either with taking care of my mom, which we'll get into in a minute, or alone, and so. Our friend Bob Yerkes.
Yeah, I know Bobby. Yeah.
He crossed my mind. He had told me one day, just out of the blue, he was very Christian. He'd built that big cross. And he said, only Jesus Christ can heal. And I have not seen Bob Yerkes in years, and he does not know this story.
He's the dean of Hollywood stuntmen.
At all. Yeah, he was a stuntman and a friend. And so I started praying. I kind of came to. It was my last breath, and I just remember his face saying, "Only Jesus Christ can heal." So I started praying with all my might. Please, I don't want to die. Please, Jesus, I've heard you. You're the only one who can heal. Please, please, I don't want to die. I had come so far now, and all of a sudden, sandals appeared, and. Sandals appeared, and I've heard other people have seen sandals, and sandals appeared, and to me they were Jesus Christ's sandals. And so I started kissing the feet, not knowing that the sandals, that's the holiest place on earth, is Jesus Christ's feet. And so I was just, I don't know how long, half hour, and all of a sudden a hand appeared from out of the area, but keep in mind, I was at the other side. I had left in all of the surgeries. I was already cut open, split open, everything ripped out of me. You know, I was somewhere in between life, and still am, still very much in that spiritual outer realm, not in a grounded, which is a good place to be because you're not competitive and you've got a lot of love and you're not jealous. You don't have the dark emotions when you when you go through something, you know, you just aren't. And so once that hand touched me, from that day I got stronger and stronger. And now I spoke to a priest about that, and he said, you know, you were under great stress. You could have been hallucinating. Well, no doubt about it. When you're leaving, have no idea what the mind's doing, especially a mind that's been through what I had gone through.
Sure.
And so, yes, but then other people said, it wasn't Jesus Christ who healed you. Jesus does not heal. He sends someone else. It was an angel. Okay, it's all right if it was an angel. I don't care. To me, it was Jesus, and Jesus healed me. That's who I was praying to. But if an angel was there and Jesus hurt, all I know is that I got stronger. I got to church, and all I cared about from the minute the sandals, the touch, Jesus, I had to get baptized. I had to know him. So I joined the Catholic Church, and the priest and the one priest I mentioned that said you could have hallucinated, that was many years later. So he kind of said, if you need to talk, we'll talk. But again, remember, no male energy, the slightest male energy, and I would lose it. I just could not handle anymore. I had been too abused.
Yeah.
And so then I left the Catholic Church because I got too scared, and I was in the classes, starting the classes. But before leaving the Catholic Church, I bought and got blessed bottles and bottles of holy water and boxes and boxes of Eucharist. I went down to the store, and I had pictures of gorgeous religious art of Mary and the saints and everybody just everywhere, and the place was doused in holy water, and I was eating the Eucharist by the boxfuls.
Yeah.
I was just so in love that Jesus would care enough about me that he really was who he said he was, and that he would heal me. So then I went to the Lutheran Church to get baptized.
Hang on one second. We're going to take another brief break, and I want to hear all about the baptism, because I know that was a turning point for you.
Yes.
We'll be back in just a minute.
Dale Davidson and the team at Las Vegas Tonight firmly believe that the only solution to today's serious problems is the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Dale carefully selects his guests on the show, making sure that their dedication to our Lord is heartfelt and genuine, and that their ministries are making a strong and positive difference in the world. Dale doesn't charge anyone to be on Las Vegas Tonight. The cost to produce and air the programs are covered by donations from our ministries partners. We thank you so much for your financial support, and most of all for your prayers. Please consider becoming a partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries for just $40 per month. For a little more than $1 a day, you'll be helping us bring the good news of Jesus Christ to millions of people around the world. The television networks that broadcast the program reach from coast to coast in the United States, and through internet apps cover the entire world. Your $40 monthly contribution entitles you to Dale's newsletter that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the production of Las Vegas Tonight, and inside information on the exciting guests Dale interviews on every episode. You'll also receive a copy of Dale's book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, an in-depth look at 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests, plus a very personal story of how Dale came to Christ and the challenges he faces in bringing the good news to the world. Become a partner of our ministry today by going to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button, or by emailing Dale at dale@lasvegastonight.tv, or you could write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly.
The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Wynne Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Wynne Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have a fascinating guest. What a life story we've heard so far. Marneen Fields. We hope you got a chance to watch the first 2 segments. Now, the turnaround.
And, you know, I just want to say, you know, thank you for letting me tell my story.
Sure.
Because so many years have passed now, and for me to go back to the, you know, the holy water and everything, that this was really significant. You know, so today I bought the Jesus ring I was wearing, and I've got my my rosary bracelet, and so I went to the Lutheran church, and the pastor minister, he followed me, and he said, you know, that scared me. So I said, I just want to be baptized. I think I'm going to die any minute, and I'm in the dark. You know, I know that I need to be baptized, because by now I had studied and read a bunch of things. And he says everyone who wants to be baptized should be allowed to be baptized. And so he scheduled it for like the next week. And so now keep in mind, this is still 1999, and now we're in December, and I'm baptized December 12 of 1999 in the Lutheran Church. And he puts the water over me, and my younger brother, you know, he's on Facebook with me, and he was there that day, and he will remember this. He remembers all of this, because everyone who knows me knows the major change in me once Jesus touched my life. And I'm not here to you know, it's just what happened, and I'm happy I can share it with somebody, because what it did for me and what Christianity does for others, it takes your mind, when Christianity is in the right mode, not the let's not judge and, you know, and all the condemning things and all of that. When Christianity is in the right mode and you're using all of the things to its power, you are really able to elevate your soul to where you need to be connected with God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ. Right. And you're not with all this other, that, and it is really a healthy pursuit. So anyway, he puts some holy water on me, and my brother's here in the front row, and I look out, and there's my mom in spirit, and she's ashen now. And my mom, who ran away almost 9 years ago, is there at my baptism. And I sit down next to my brother. I go, Mother's here. He goes, I don't see her. And I said, I swear to God. Now, maybe it means she's dead and she's in on the baptism with me, but she was in ash. And so anyway, a week or so goes by, and I receive a phone call saying that off of a missing persons report I filed 9 years previous, that a KP Deswayne has been found. And I knew it was her, and they found all the markings that my mom had on her body, and she had distinctive moles on her eyelashes. Yeah. And so I said, I know it's her. Well, she had been found with multiple cancers and lymphoma. She had a wallet-sized tumor on her forehead and breast cancer, and they were looking for next of kin because she was close to death. Yeah. So I was able to fly. She originally ran away from Ventura to Oregon. I found her in 6 months. She wouldn't come home. Then from Oregon to Seattle, and she was found in Seattle. So I was able to bring my mom home. I cared for her for 13 years before her death, and I'm coming to the end of my story, my magnificent story now. It means everything in the world to me. So we wrote Ruby's script that year, and I titled it A Lost and Found Gem, because she was Ruby. But now I've retitled the script, Who's Going to Take Care of Me? And then I have a book coming out, Cartwheels and Halos, the true Marneen Fields story, that talks about my film work and surviving this accident, and how God will step into your life when you are when you're on the wrong path, and he'll take drastic actions in your life to make sure you're on the right path. And for me, that was music, and then of course, you know, the religion and everything. So Ruby came home, and one thing I didn't mention is I've been severely hearing impaired since 18. I lost all my hearing at 18, and when Ruby was, the left side, when Ruby was found, the stress in the family and things was too much for me. I lost half of the hearing in the right ear. So Ruby, after her lymphoma and the radiation and chemotherapy, she went completely blind. So here we are, the two of us, and we vowed, and I vowed that I would sell this script, Who's Going to Take Care of Me? And it's horrific. It is a modern day horror story because no one's ever gone through what Ruby went through. You just heard what I went through. Yeah, it's brutal and it's against me, but nobody ever went through what Ruby's gone through with the homelessness and schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, dementia, cancers, multiple cancers. And Ruby, what happened to Ruby is that, and this, I hate to use this analogy because it is not, it's not proper, but Ruby was not able to know to pull her pants up in the middle of the street. This is how serious, and you don't want that to happen to anyone, and you don't want to throw anyone out there, and you don't want to say, oh, it's not our problem. We should not have to help these mentally ill, homeless people with our taxes. I disagree. If you've got money coming in and they have nothing, we should be helping them, and especially the wealthy. So my goal, sell Ruby's script to do something for the mentally ill who are homeless and their families with her story. You've heard my story, and you know, we're very blessed, and this was our goal, this was our mission. And she died, and she co-wrote her script. She co-wrote it, and she just was the most beautiful, beautiful person you just have ever met. Ruby Marie Ferris Fields, I love you, and I'm here today telling our. Thank you.
Oh, you bet. You bet. What a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your singing career.
Okay. Well,
you're
I
writing
did.
songs. You're a singer-songwriter. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, that was, you know, I decided when I could no longer do stunts and I wasn't getting any acting roles and I couldn't remember the lines, that I would go back to school and I would do what I wanted to do more than act, and that was sing. And I still want to sing more than anything. And all those years I was also, you know, and one of the things I forgot to mention is when I did get back on my feet, they found 3rd stage melanoma in my thigh. So I ended up then losing the right thigh. I couldn't walk. So everything was always taking my legs, taking that physical ability and, you know, taking that away. And but you see me today, and I wouldn't say I'm a perfect specimen of health. I fell twice last year and had 2 very bad concussions, and I think that's what shattered the tooth. I hit my face on a door frame, rushing and tripping across a wire. But I'm strong, and I'm focused on good works. And so anything that I'm producing, I'm well known as a producer. I've won a lot of awards. I was Hollywood's legendary stunt woman last year, 2018, at the Action on Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And since we're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I also...
That just happened.
I know.
I know, they're great.
And I got this disc. It was just huge. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award. And then I won Most and Best of Las Vegas for my Catherine Davis Take Two, which is a pilot and a song. And Olivia Newton-John was on the red carpet with me for the Las Vegas. Right? That was the Las Vegas Fame Awards. And you know, but it took a long time, and I lost all those years, and I didn't think I'd make it. But from that day, I was touched. And I did mention I have a dear friend. Her name is Apostle Faith, and she is on OCN Network in...
yeah, I'm familiar with that.
And she mentioned to me that after the baptism, that one of the promises is that your family will be reunited. And I'll be
That
doggone,
happened.
there came Ruby 10 days. Who would have known? I would have gotten baptized the week she left. You know,
Oh, that's great. That's a great story. Tell us about Heavenly Waterfall Productions. What's that about?
well, that's my name. You think, oh, she's Heavenly Waterfall now. No, Marneen means heavenly and Lynn means waterfall. That's what I was named at birth. And that's my production company. And I'm very much a writer, composer, author, script writer. And I'm still acting. I've been acting 43 years. I haven't done stunts since 1991. And I'm producing music videos and trying to sell my screenplays and pilots for TV. But Ruby's script, I want to be behind that camera with a great director directing it. It has very strong Christian themes, but it's horrific. And I want that story shown for Ruby because she wrote it and she deserves it.
That's a wonderful goal to have.
She deserves it.
Yeah,
Ruby deserves, and I wrote a song, I'd put you on top of the world if I could, and give you your heart's desire on top of the world if I could. And the song is and I've written the music of the script too, and Ruby deserves it. Ruby is the movie star of the Fields family. Ruby Ferris Field. She was so beautiful and so meticulous and so organized and so perfect, tall and slender, and she was just everything. And to break down and lose her mind, and so thank you.
Your love for her is very evident.
Maybe someone watching wants to produce Who's Going to Take Care of Me, or we go back to the old name. Ruby is my mom's name, or A Lost and Found Gem.
That's a wonderful story. Tell us about your Facebook, God's Miraculous Healing Powers.
Oh, okay. Well, I came up with the idea that if I've been healed by Jesus, maybe others have, and many people have seen him. He lives. He's the living Christ.
Sure.
He lives, okay?
Sure.
He will never die. He's for all eternity, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And that's what's so beautiful. And so many people have seen him, many more will see him, and many have been healed. And I found that I wasn't the only one that had some of these experiences. So I'm publishing one magazine article, and then I'm going to try and do maybe a reality show or something where I think it would just be the ideal show where others could share.
Tell the stories.
So it's a Facebook group, and you can dream it. You can see my words get unless I'm typing my words. I get things half right. My words get okay. So you can join it on Facebook and share your story or read some of the others.
God's Miraculous Healing Powers on Facebook, and also your IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, is under the name Marneen Lynn Fields. Right?
Just Marneen Fields.
Oh, Marneen Fields. Okay. And then it's got a long list of credits, just years worth of motion picture work and everything that you've done. It's really you've had an amazing life.
It is. If we now could take it to where it would really, be for good works and charity for others, that would just be phenomenal.
Yeah, you've given us a wonderful glimpse into what the Christian life can be. If you don't mind, you got a couple of minutes left. That's your camera right there.
Oh.
Why don't you address that camera and maybe lead others to Christ, if you don't mind. Tell people a little bit about how wonderful it is to have Jesus in your life, and because I think your testimony is going to be very powerful.
I can't imagine a life without Jesus Christ in it. Everything about the blessings, and the blessings just continue to abound since I got baptized and became a Christian, and I'm so proud of being a Christian, and my daily walk with Jesus and my Sunday time at church and watching ministers on TV. Now, I wouldn't describe myself as one religion. I'm a Christian first, but I also go to a Catholic Mass. I go to other churches. I have wonderful friends that are Jewish, that are, aren't in the faith yet, that I hope with my story that I can lead them, because, I've been there. I've been on, and I'm not doing this to make $1 million. Everyone who knows me, if I made $1 million, I would give it away. I would give it to other people. I would not buy some big old mansion for myself. I'm about giving to others so that they are leaving, because the only thing that's going to get you there on your last breath, the last breath you take, is going to be your connection to God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus Christ. And the ones that are going to help get you there, or help get you out of the trouble that you're in right now, are by reading about these lives of the saints and what they're doing for others. And I've seen so much, because I did cross over. I've seen different dark forces and different spiritual entities and different things. And, everyone probably has. A lot of them describe it on the God healing page. If they saw an angel help them up after they fell, or their accident, or whatever. And so, I'm here to be good in life. You have choices. And Christianity and the teachings of Christianity, whether it's Joel Osteen or the Potter House, or you turn them on, you feel better. They're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing with their mind, and the right thing for others, and the right thing in their life. And it's worth it. If we were all doing the right thing and not harming others, it would just be better. And I really don't, I'm not in a position, I'm not a minister, I'm not an apostle, I'm not I'm none of those things. I'm just a gymnast that became a stunt girl, that wanted to act, that loves to sing, and loved her mother. And I saw bad things happen. And so, I'm real simple, I'm real easy.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a really great testimony. And thank you for sharing your life. It was very powerful.
Thanks.
Very powerful.
And thank you, Ruby.
Yeah. And we will pray.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Marneen Fields, who's been a terrific guest here in Las Vegas tonight. Thank you, and come back when you can.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you all for watching Las Vegas Tonight. And as I do my best to remember, when it comes to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, please walk with Him. God bless you. The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation. A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, you'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you. You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with Dale Davidson. Send your tax-deductible gifts to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Or call 702-480-3989.
This show is brought to you by Michelle Kubiak with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, call Michelle at 702-683-6576. Her license number is S.48606. This show is also brought to you by Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, located on Silverado Ranch, here in Henderson, Nevada. Restore, relax, and refresh. Let's not forget our very own Merrill and Merrick comedy show. This fun, comical TV sitcom duo with Social Media Shows Network loves to make you laugh. Mahel Empire Productions. It's a filmmaker based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Founded by Michael and Sonny Mahal, and are dedicated to making feature films. Turn your power on with Broken Bulb Productions. Owned by Russell Rapp, an independent filmmaker based out of New Jersey. This show is brought to you by, let's not forget, our very own GI Connections. It's a non-profit organization that connects veterans with resources. We're also proud to recognize Prolific Arts with Sonia Scott. Painting is the expression of emotion and feeling deep within one's heart. Let's not forget Matoma Environmental Technologies. Global research, development, and manufacturing of innovative photocatalytic products. Our show is also brought to you by Carmelo Rodriguez, who is the author of a best-selling book called Smile. It's based on true events. It's the story of a couple building a family. Get your copy of his book at Amazon today. We also love our musicians. Think about Frank's Tribute, an all-star band. It's a Green Bay-based band with Let Me Be Frank's Productions, family owned by Frank Hermans, who happens to be a veteran entertainer.
Social Media Shows is a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We offer these services. We've been streaming shows live in real time for over 4 years on major social media platforms and also on our website socialmediashows.com. And we are now on Roku TV. We welcome you to have your own show on our TV network. Call us 651-955-8743 or email us at admin@socialmediashows.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause, because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.